welcome to Kinetic Coaching. I've got Coach Maricris here. She came all the way out from Fort Lauderdale, actually from LA originally. Yes. Typically you've trained, the average person, right, who is a desk worker, is a mom, is a husband, is a child, right, who plays probably some recreational sports. We've gone over some interesting new stuff today. What was some of that?
Well, I think the biggest thing, like you nailed exactly who I train,
right.
And one of the things you learn as a trainer off the bat is foundational movements, just very kind of rigid, right? Because you're thinking safety. But at the same time, when you think about, or when I started thinking about my athletic training, it was about movement and understanding how to have everything function as one to make you feel stronger as a whole.
Right.
And that's what prevents injury, really, is understanding how to use your body. And I think that's some of the basic things that the everyday person is missing. They
could definitely benefit from, right?
Bicep curls, but it's just like you notice when they get into bodyweight training, there's just a loss of control. It's like as if they're hiding behind weight. So yeah. I love that. Yes, this is tactical training, but it relates to the everyday person. That's really important.
Functional translation of biomechanical movement patterns, right? Mm-hmm. We're talking about teaching the body to be functionally strong no matter what kind of forces it's experiencing, whether that's the force of a dumbbell being pulled to the ground or a resistance band being pulled towards the wall or the cable cross, what have you. It needs to translate over to everyday life, whether that's tactical training or sitting at a desk all day and then going and playing with your kids at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. Kids are a great example of where functionality becomes really important because moment's notice, right? Junior comes over, jumps on you, blindsides you from nowhere. I know I have kids myself. So some of the body positions that you've already been in, right, were a little bit interesting. What was your experience with like the coiling techniques and some of those things that you already experienced there?
Well, again, going back to foundational training, just thinking, if you're coming to row, most is just upright and straight back. But you think about, we're meant to rotate. We're meant
right.
to be in different planes, and you find that one side's typically very dominant, but to be able to train in different planes on the same side in different motions, I think is what's going to prepare you for any movement.
Right.
Like functional movement, I think, is the foundation to that strength training, is what it comes down to.
Absolutely, absolutely. And rotation is a huge aspect of what we're trying to integrate more of into the average person's training, right?
Yeah.
If it doesn't seem to make sense if you're not an athlete and everybody's trying to train you like an athlete, but life is a sport.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Life is a sport. There's a lot of repetition that we don't even realize is in our daily movement library. So to enhance that and increase the amount of movements that we experience on a daily basis and the type of forces that we experience, we need to be doing that in the gym, because when it's a surprise and suddenly we have to react that way, it's a lot harder to do so. Exactly. And that's what you already saw today. Yes. So we're going to go through a little round of some of the exercises we already did today with Coach Maricris here, some of the coiling patterns, some of the more explosive compound movements that we did with the Pentagon bar as well as the tank sled, and even some firearms training. So check it out. We're going to have some fun. All right, so we're starting with the vertical pull. So high pull to a low drop, focusing on that coiling in the lat. We got that breath belt on, lengthening the tissues on one side, but certainly gonna become a problem as we're starting to get that breathing going a little bit faster. The heart rate's going up, getting those nice high reaching pulls. Remember, don't focus too heavily on the grip. We don't wanna fatigue those grip muscles too much because we are gonna have to pull that trigger again.
I already know that one.
Good, rest on that one, right? And we want to keep in mind that our durations need to be reflective of the actual activity that's being applied. So we're not going to overdo it on any one exercise, because that's not what really happens when we're talking about the tactical relevance of the exercises. So pulling, rotating, fully articulating that hand, exhale, focus on your breathing, right? Fourth and fifth metatarsal, big toe, eyes on a target, right? Attack your target with your eyes and weaponize them. Switch legs, but keep it in that same hand, right? So we're going to work over that non-dominant side now, right? Most people aren't used to working and rotating over the lead leg, so that's what we're going to work on. We're going to do it on purpose. Switch arms, stay the same leg. Yep, keeping that heart rate up now, right? Focusing on short durations of high intensity bursts. Get that metabolic system up and running, working on that alactic threshold. Switch legs, same arm. Give me 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rest. Okay, recover. Now when we're recovering, what do we want to focus on? Nasal breathing, not just breathing, right? Because mouth breathing is gonna wear us out pretty fast, right? Deep nasal breaths, right? Expand against that breath belt, right? Contract to protect those organs, and we're gonna go into our coiling pattern here. We're only gonna do 2 reps of 3 seconds on each side, okay? Take it as far out as you feel comfortable with. Driving that elbow down and in.
Right leg, lead leg.
Right leg forward, left leg crossed behind.
I was like, is it gonna slide?
Drive it down into your hip and it won't. There you go, yep. Eyes on a target, right? Don't let your eyes drift. Find your target, attack it with your eyes. Good, strong positioning. Right, holding 3, 2, 1, release it, do it again, go a little further this time. Taking a step out, adding resistance, that compounding resistance. Watch the shaking, right? That's the central nervous system working. Right? And every one of those little shakes is like a little mini micro contraction. It burns like crazy. If you really get down in there deep, but you can feel foot, glute, and lat all working together as one big happy family. Switch sides. All right. Left side in. Driving down into that lat. Lock it down. That's a pretty heavy band, right? That'll give you at its maximum about 100 pounds of resistance. So drive that elbow down and in. Noticing a little bit of a discrepancy from left side to right. So that's something you want to key in on. That doesn't mean you can't do it. Just means you got to focus a little harder, right? And rest, go a little further. One more. All right, drill deep on this one. Find that angle of attack that's going to allow you to fight that band. Right? Even go a little bit excessive on your force, right? Use more than you really need. Right? There's just as much good training that happens there as anything else. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice. Okay, so keeping that heart rate up, but we're recovering, right? Breathing in through the nose, getting that nitrous oxide to start to fill that system up so that our capillaries can expand, so that when that oxygen does come in, it's actually useful, right? Filling up more and more of your system with blood flow. Okay, so we're gonna engage the pentagon bar here. When you're ready, start the next set. Now that's something that you would want to key in on typically with your training, is to go, okay, if it usually takes me a minute to recover when I'm doing this type of circuit, it's taking me 2 minutes to recover, right? What have you. You know yourself better than anyone, but you can start to really key in on what your recovery looks like when you're doing simulated stress work, okay? Right? Forward intent, right? Imagine you're throwing that thing up. 2, 3, now go for the clean this time. There you go, nice. 2, 3, 4, one more, and 5, excellent. All right, recover. We're coming over back to the tank. So we're going to set it to a low resistance. I want strong, powerful push. Okay, so get on this side for me. Okay, I'm going to catch it, throw it at me. Okay, strong breathing, right? Give me maximal force. Eyes on target. There you go. Good, lean into it more, jump even more. There you go, nice. Use your legs, right? Foot through hip, through shoulders, driving out. Last one. And rest on that. Now you're gonna go with that alternating forward thrust, one arm then the other, okay? Sustained lactic threshold, other side. You're gonna have to watch out for that aqua bag, that's all right. Good, push through it, work, 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 right? Shh, strong breathing. Use your breathing to generate force. Good intensity, good intensity. Excellent, rest. All right, now we're gonna re-engage that firearm.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow. That's a hard one.
All right, so grab it, rack it. We got our Mantis X system going there with the laser inside. All right, let's see what we got.
Oh boy.
There you go. Give me 5 more.
Oh, come on.
There you go.
Woo!
Give me 1 more pull, 1 more good one.
Oh, come on. Oh, God.
Rest, rest, rest.
Wow.
So that's pretty wild, right? Now, what was great was you did pretty much everything that you learned immediately without really thinking about it with a more intense circuit, right? But the proficiency that you build, the confidence that you build by having done that circuit once or twice before, your body's not thinking anymore, it's reacting, right? That's where life happens. Whether you're a tactical athlete, whether you're a regular human who's going about their day doing their yard work, that's where life is going to happen. So to train this way consistently would better prepare you and better prime you for that type of environment, right? And, right, you were able to get your hands in the right positions, get a decent score, right? As good or better than your first baseline, even though your heart rate was up, even though your body's more fatigued, you're getting more out of it.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, how do you feel?
I feel tired, but I feel good. Honestly,
Right.
it just to be able to use my body and not feel rigid.
Right.
Just fluid and functional. And, you know, the big things with movements like that is a lot of trust in your body and understanding what's going to be engaged
Right.
versus freaking out. I think that's probably where the injury happens. You're just not aware of where you're at. So the connections and the small modes of focusing on your targets all really helpful.
Yes, just those little bits of cueing and bits and pieces of where to put your intentions in your training that help you to build more confidence. That's our jobs as coaches, right? Is to help give those cues and give the tools, stuff like the breath belt or the different objects that we use today. A lot of different stuff that you saw today in this video will have been higher level progressions. She's a pretty good athlete, so I think she can handle some of this stuff. But the average person can do these things. They can attack a clean from something like the Pentagon bar or a heavy push press with something like the tank, because it allows their body to be in a position that they can develop that comfort and confidence, right?
Yes.
Developing physical intelligence and actually intellectual and emotional intelligence by tuning into how my body feels when I'm doing these high intensity exercises, right? Can I control my breathing patterns? Can I control my emotions when I'm physically exhausted? Yes, you absolutely can, and that's part of the fun of doing kinetic training. So I really thank you for coming out. How'd you like it today?
Oh, I loved it. I want to come back. Can I come back?
We're definitely good. Well, there's
Yes.
plenty more to delve into, so make sure everyone to stay tuned. Go ahead and follow Coach Maricris. I'm going to drop her information for Instagram and any websites that you have, things like that, available so that you guys can find her. She's out in Fort Lauderdale and sometimes LA, yes?
LA, about to be all over the place, worldwide.
All over so it's all about outdoor training and getting sunlight and seeing some cool scenic views, so we'll expect to see some of that stuff. But I really appreciate you coming out and taking the time to do this, because it's good for me as well to go through all those coaching patterns. So make sure to go check her out. We'll see you out there next time. Live kinetically, y'all. Thanks for watching.